Now we move to today's top story, where Donald Trump's signature tax and spending bill is facing a major showdown in Congress, with a procedural vote stalled and Republicans split. As late of Wednesday night, the House was split 217 to 207 against the bill moving forward, with 8 Republicans still undecided and party leaders struggling to win them over. 5 Republican lawmakers are currently blocking progress on President Trump's tax and spending bill, voting no in a key procedural vote. Trump took to Truth Social to express frustration, writing, "For Republicans, this should be an easy yes vote. Ridiculous." Speaker Mike Johnson has kept the vote open for more than 3 hours as GOP leaders meet behind closed doors to try to salvage the plan. The bill, dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill, promises deep tax cuts, but has sparked fierce infighting over its impact on the national debt and social safety net programs. If the procedural vote passes, a final debate and vote could take place later today. But for now, Trump's legislative legacy hangs in the balance. We're joined by Shruti Dasgupta, who is a foreign affairs expert, joining us live from New Delhi to discuss this ongoing legal process in more detail. Shruti, thank you very much for joining us. If Trump's signature tax and bill fails here, what does that mean for his influence over a divided Republican Party?
Greetings, Thomas. Thank you for inviting me. I believe that he is very vicious in terms of political vengeance, and we've already heard rumors of the very same coming through. A few of the ones who were posted when J.D. Vance had to weigh in at a 50-50 vote to pass through the Senate. At that time, whoever opposed it, one of those, I wouldn't like to name names, but they are facing considerable pressure from the Trump group as such. And that group itself is very well powered, very well oiled, and it's a very well funded group. So anybody who stands in his way of making this come true, this one big beautiful bill become reality, is going to feel a lot of vengeance coming their way. We've already seen the entire breakdown between Trump and Musk over this very same bill, and it is not. And it shows that Trump is willing to accept personal losses in terms of friendships and camaraderie, as well as business relationships, as well, and is willing to go a step further to ensure political throwdowns happening in relation to this bill. If it does not pass, and I doubt that it would be stopped, he will make it happen. He has made it happen before. By hook or by crook, he'll make it happen. But it will come at very dear costs to the nation, as well as the people who want to oppose it.
Yes, Shruti, and before we get into that, to the impact of this bill, if it does pass through the US legislature, I want to first talk about Donald Trump's messaging here. We've had a very unique approach to the US president in regards to his Truth Social posts and his public appearances, of course. He singled out Republicans for voting against him in a branch which is supposed to be an independent body. What are your views on how Donald Trump has approached this situation?
He's always dealt any situation in a very head-on, cataclysmic manner. He makes sure that everybody knows who is the root of the problem. He doesn't use the political diplomacy or soft words. He doesn't kind of softball anything. He makes sure everybody knows who is the enemy, who is the problem in his perspective. So he takes it head-on. It does end up creating problem for others because they end up gaining, because he's a truthful, social first and White House press office later kind of a president. So it ends up gaining the other person or the opposing party a lot of haters online, as well as in their own community. So instead of taking it on, making sure that he doesn't have any public meltdowns with somebody, he's not scared of it. So his approach is, you will follow the line or you will fall. It is his very simple philosophy he goes by. I believe it is inspired by one of his shows that he used to do, Intern was it called or something? He would say, The Apprentice, you're correct. So he would say, you're fired. And that's exactly what happens to anybody who is part of his team but doesn't toe the line. So he is very, very vocal. very, very obvious, and everybody knows who he's targeting. He doesn't mix mouths.
Shruti, now let's finally get into what this bill actually means. It has faced widespread criticism, with some saying it only benefits the wealthiest 1% in America. If this bill does get passed, what does it mean for the broader American public?
I don't know why anybody is surprised by what the bill promises. He already made those promises during his campaign. And this bill is going to make the wealthy more wealthier, but it is also going to fulfill on his promises of not putting taxes on tipping and a lot of the other versions, which is going to ensure that the groups that he was targeting, senior citizens, I believe, have been part of his concerns as well in this taxation bill. So they tend to get a little bit more. I believe the major impact will be towards the socialist programs that were being run, like the Medicaid that was going to take this thing, the social security people who were taking that income starts getting taxed as well. So it does change the dynamics of the US economy once more. The wealthy get more wealthy, the poor may not feel as much pressure. The small victories of getting their tips not taxed as much would mean a big deal to his MAGA group. And beyond that, of course, the country should worry, because this is going to add a lot, trillions, if I'm not wrong, trillions to their existing debt. So the debt of the country is going to continue to spiral out of control. He may make it seem that the tariffs and it's a hot economy and all those wonderful words he uses, that it's a hot economy, people want to invest in America and America is going to be great again, and the inflation is at the lowest and everything, but the inflation started downrating while the Biden administration was right there. So he's just riding the wave of the Biden administration's corrective actions right now in terms of inflation. His particular bill is going to ensure that the US economy goes further deep down into debt, and the debt is going to spiral out of control because it's going to keep adding to itself. So I'm not really sure of how it is going to benefit everybody or itself or even the country as a whole. But his target groups, his prime voter groups, will definitely feel that they have been taken care of. And the Republicans who voted for MAGA will probably feel vindicated when this bill passes through.
Yes, and Shruti, this obviously sees increased spending in regards to investment in ICE, in regards to in defence spending, which the US is already at the top in the world by far. We also see experts analyse this and say that 17 million people in the United States will lose their medical insurance. What are your thoughts on the possible implications, the social implications that this bill is going to have on the American consumer at large here?
The Medicaid question is something which is very serious, because medical expenses is almost, I think, US ranks among the top 10 countries where medical expenses are, ceiling high. So people who depend on Medicaid to ensure that their health survives are going to suffer a whole lot. But in the Medicaid, he's going to ensure that his particular groups benefit. He's not worried about all of the entire of America from the perspective of this particular bill. He's also trying to present that I'm going to bring the pharmacy bills that are going to be separately addressed, are going to bring down the prices of everything, so the healthcare would become more affordable in his point of view. So Medicaid is just going to be more of a socialist view for him. He doesn't subscribe to it. He's a very out-and-out capitalist. And these Social Security tax exemption being cancelled, as well as Medicaid being millions of people losing Medicaid, is going to impact a lot of the middle class. The poor residents didn't have much help, but the middle class that were depending on this to sticking to this economy are going to find it very difficult. And it's I don't think it is a very prudent bill, because it is not good for the economy of US as a whole. Its repercussions may not be felt today, but the ripples will be felt at least 2 years from now. You'll find the ripples flowing through.
Okay, Shruti, thank you very much. You are staying with us, but we have reports coming in that are emerging in the US media that House Speaker Mike Johnson is saying that Republicans now have enough votes to clear the key procedural hurdle now underway, as well as to pass Donald Trump's signature mega bill. We are bringing you this as it comes. Comes after Donald Trump has demanded the legislation to be on his desk by Friday on the 4th of July, and we will keep you updated in regards to the passing of these bills and all the updates as we get them. We will now move on to our next story. Apologies, we are staying on this. This bill looks like it's about to come through, Shruti, if these reports are correct, what can we expect from this bill, and especially the future of the Republican Party now that Donald Trump's allies have openly opposed him and feel criticised? What are your views?
Create fissures in the Republican group as such. They will find themselves pushed to corners, and you will find small voices of dissent coming through, which will be stomped out by the giant elephant of MAGA. So it's not going to look good for anybody in the Republican tent to kind of oppose Trump, but as you can already see, within 6 months of him becoming the 47th president, people are not happy with his policies or his approach. He's running this entire country as, which is part of the Constitution, as the single leader, single point of consolidation of power. He's leading the country in that particular way, and in fact, from there, he's taken it to a CEO level, where he owns the nation per se, not really literally, but in terms of the decision-making power as well as the execution power. And anybody questioning his authority is either shuffled out of the chair that they hold or shuffled out of power completely. So this particular moves that he's making, the way he's presenting himself is very aggressive. It was appreciated in the beginning compared to the soft approach of the Biden era in the last 1 year, specifically when he was very ill. At that particular time, it was very soft. It almost felt as if they had no the president at all. So they will kind of ensure that they enjoyed this contrast. But when it comes to suppressing of personal opinions, political opinions, and making sure everybody is in consensus and are willing to join hands with him rather than being forced to join hands with him on the bill, it sends different messaging. So politically, for the Republican group, you're going to find a lot of people not very happy, despite being silenced and being made to support it, optically at least.
Yes, Shruti, thank you very much. You are staying with us for our next story. We move to the Middle East, where a new directive from Israel's Ministry of Diaspora